January 10, 2024, of the Board of Trustees. We'll do the call of order, and we'll start out with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the roll call.
Mayor Queenie Mars, Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson,
Here.
Trustee Ed Hallam,
Here.
Trustee Nick Manning,
Here.
Trustee Denise Bryan,
Here.
Trustee Richard Temple,
Here.
Trustee Fred McWhirter, and Student Liaison Tori. Here.
All right, welcome. All right. So the next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. May I please have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented by staff.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll, or not? Yeah. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, thank you. Passes unanimously. The next item is the approval of the minutes of December 13 and December 20. So we could have a motion individually or combined? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 13th and December 20th, 2023 as staff, presented by staff.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Second is by Nick Manning, Trustee Manning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very official.
We'll be all formal,
No.
official. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, unanimously approved. Thank you. Next item of business is audience business, and there's no one in the room and no one signed up, so we will move along to announcements. Heather, you're
Jerry
on.
has announcements. Nobody else does.
Okay.
Just a quick update on our new water tank project. The ring wall is completed, backfill, so we're basically waiting on grade one structures to show up and let our operates and start building the tank.
Wow, cool. Thank you.
Great.
That's neat. Yeah, very exciting. Does anybody else have announcements? Okay. Then we will move on to the treasurer's report, December bills and claims. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. The
Okay.
Minkus Marshall building, that Great Western Building Systems, is that like a deposit?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time it's in final engineer
Cool.
for stamp, we should have those back this week.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't have any more deposits on it until the building's due.
Great. And what's the timeline for that?
Still 90 days out,
Okay.
stamped engineer.
Great.
They haven't changed that on me. And then, so.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Any other questions or concerns?
Mm-hmm.
All right. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve the bills and claims as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Does it have to be a roll call vote? Okay,
I do have an announcement. I apologize.
okay.
Friday at 2 o'clock, Jamie has a candidate forum for any potential candidates that want to run for board of trustees.
Cool.
And we've invited the student liaisons to attend that as well. And then if they can come, because they don't have school Friday. So we may do some onboarding and give them their tablets and their beautiful binders that you all, I'm sure, have read every single
Every page.
So that we do have that, but Jamie and Mercedes are putting that together.
Okay. All
How
right.
many
Where is it
petitions have
at
been pulled
at
so
time?
far?
Here at 2:00.
Yeah.
So is it in this room at 2 o'clock Friday? Okay.
Shoot. And I'm gonna be out of town. Rats.
It's not required, but it's for
Okay.
anybody who wishes to run for the board that's unaware of the time commitments.
Ah,
And
okay.
That is great.
And the procedures.
To answer questions, because I think we're a little bit intimidating sometimes, and so hopefully we get some people to come and have.
Yeah.
How many people have pulled petitions? May I ask?
We're not tracking that, we're not keeping track, because there's two who run the front desk and will fill in occasionally, so we're not keeping a list.
Cool.
So,
Let me ask a different way. Have people other than me pulled petitions?
I was gonna say, I don't know,
Yes?
Mercedes
Okay.
would be the one on that one, or maybe
Okay.
Jamie's given one out, but Mercedes is the one.
Yeah.
who-
Yeah. It's just a concern because, you know, there's 5 positions.
It is a concern.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
And we can only sign one petition, like I've had this question asked by someone.
No,
You can sign one petition for mayor, because there's only one mayor seat open. But you can sign 4 petitions for trustee, because there are 4
4 positions
trustee positions open.
Oh, I thought there were 5 open.
4 trustees.
And a mayor, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
The mayor
Okay.
is a separate office.
That's the way I do it
Right.
now.
Yeah.
It is not a separate office in the
Okay.
U.S. or in divorce, but it is a separate
Okay.
office. So,
I thought there were 5 trustee positions in the
no,
mayor.
one mayor,
Okay.
4 trustees, so.
Stop.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right. Got that figured out. Now I've lost it.
To tick that card.
All right. So that's audience business. That's treasurer's committee reports. Montezuma County Commissioner Gerald.
Hey, Joe.
Thanks for having me. We're just like everybody else. We've been working on the budget. Seems like for quite a while since the state keeps changing things around on us. I think this last session they had, we figured we went down about 400,000. Our budget this year, we're probably gonna be pulling at least $1 million back out of reserves in order to make it work again. So, the biggest thing coming, probably we're gonna try to get sales tax passed in Montezuma County.
Yay.
I don't think we have much choice.
Yeah.
Production from Kinder Morgan stuff is gonna continue to decline more than likely. And since they're such a large taxpayer in the county, we're gonna have to do something. If people want the services to continue that they've had now, they're gonna have to make that decision. If you want these amount of services, you're gonna have to step up to the plate and pass this, but we'll see.
It's the
How-
most shared by out-of-staters, tourists, everybody, so it's not strictly.
It's gonna be
The
specific.
impact, no, the sales tax doesn't impact only.
Yeah, it's not just us paying for everything. It's everybody that comes through and spends money.
But it's gonna be specifically, that money's gonna go to the jail and the sheriff.
100%?
That's the way we're gonna pass it, try to pass it, that it's a public safety sales tax to just go to the jail, the sheriff, because between the sheriff and the jail and our road department, it's about 70% of Montezuma County's taxes that we actually have, that we get, the part that Montezuma County actually has. About 70% of it goes to those two entities for them to operate. And it's just like everybody else's right now, all of their stuff is going up. All the road maintenance, everything else is just getting higher and higher. Try to buy asphalt, try to do anything, it's just getting higher all the time. So we're gonna try to make it specific to go to the sheriff and the jail and do it that way so people know exactly where that money's going.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be discretionary, it's gonna go there. The money that was going to the sheriff, we're gonna use that for dispatch and the other things that are all related to that same deal, and to be able to keep up with in the road department, because we'll have to put some more money that way as it keeps changing. So
Yeah.
that's mainly what we've been dealing with, and it's gonna be, if this doesn't pass, services in Montezuma County are gonna change. because we cannot keep pulling. We pulled $1 million out of reserves last year, and this year the same way. And we have things happen like we had last spring where we washed out roads and had to replace bridges and stuff, and all that stuff is expensive and it's costs a lot of money. So every time that happens, we're pulling more out of reserves, and we've got to get more conservative and stop that at some point. So people are going to have to decide if they want the same amount of services in Montezuma County or not. That's the biggest thing that we've been dealing with here lately. Of course, whenever you have issues like that and we have to restrict that budget, it always impacts different parts of the county. So you will see some of it this next year, and I'm sure most of you have seen some of the stuff as far as the sheriff's department that's in the paper. Most of those positions that we did not fund this year have never been filled. All of them have never been filled yet. And I don't know why they did, but at some point in time, they set a quota that he could have up to 70 some employees. Well, he's only had 68, 69 is the most that he's had since 2015. And so we did, and they've been funding those positions that have not been filled because they were always there that he could fill them if they needed to. Well, we don't have the money to do that. We cannot fund ghost positions. So that's where all that's coming from. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of negativity about it, like what's been in the paper, but we only have so much money, and we've been operating at that number of officers for all this time, and we're going to have to keep operating at that number, not increase it. So that's where that's at. That Colorado River Task Force that I was on was taking up a lot of times. Most of the reason why I haven't been here is dealing with Colorado River issues. We did get through with that thing there in December, had a meeting down for the Colorado River Water Users Association there in the middle of December. All of that stuff, we sent our recommendations to the legislature as to things that we thought would make Colorado more drought tolerant. And the biggest part of it, that the majority of the suggestions that we put forward to them was to fix some of this aging infrastructure. I know, just like here in the town, you guys try to save water, and you're talking about thousands of gallons of water. And when we're talking about how much we lose just out of the Weber ditch, and you're talking about 10 to 20% of that water, and you're talking about acre feet, and we're running 40 acre feet or 42nd feet in that ditch. When you're losing 20% of that, and one acre foot is 26,000 gallons. That's 1 acre foot. And we're losing that much out of these canals. I was pushing them as much as I could to help fix these problems. I mean, just like they piped the Root and Rattler ditch. It saved a bunch of water. It's saving a bunch of water. I mean, more water than, I mean, you guys can do some, but we could do a lot. And that's what I was concentrating on, trying to get them to understand that these canals are 100 years old. Most of them are over 100 years old. And they were made with teams and Fresnos behind a team of horses. And they've been here all these years. And they seep a lot of water. And you can see that in the fields in below these ditches. You can all around. And it's not just here. It's everywhere in the state. It's everywhere in the state. And people could get help out here on your farm. You know, if you want to put in a pivot or you want to put in side rolls to make your irrigation more efficient, individuals could get help on their farm. But the company, like the Mutual Ditch Company that runs the Weber Ditch, you're not eligible for any of those programs until the last couple of years. There's some Water Smart grants and stuff through the Bureau of Reclamation that you could start getting to help with some of these projects. And we need to do a bunch of that. But we need the state to help us because most of these small mutual ditch companies, we can't afford a grant writer. We don't have the expertise to do that stuff. And some of those are really complicated. It's not easy to get through that whole process. We were pushing to get the state to help us get more of these things fixed. I don't know if we're going to do any good, but we tried. That was the biggest thing that come out of it, is almost everybody on there agreed that 100% that those things need to be fixed. And it's going to be hard, and it's expensive. It's expensive. We actually got 2 of those Water Smart grants for 2 pipeline projects through MBI over in Cortez, because I'm the president of Monsoon Valley Irrigation Company over there too. We got 2 of those projects for about $6 million. We have over 100 miles of ditch in that company. We're talking about less than 3 miles of pipeline. It's going to cost us that much money just to do that. And they're just tail end feeder lines that come off of the main canals. We're not talking about the main canals.
Wow.
So it's very expensive, and it's almost prohibitive for these small mutual ditch companies to do. So that was the big push that we came out of that with. Just the education for you as to what that whole thing came up with. And I mean, there's some other recommendations that we come up with too, but that was the biggest push, is to fix some of this aging infrastructure. I don't know how much good we did, but we tried. We'll see what the legislature does with it. You know, it's just hard to tell. But otherwise, things have been pretty calm in Monsoon County. Meetings have been real short the last couple of weeks, and hadn't a lot going on. So.
I have a question for you, Joe. Going back to the sales tax, do you have to present this now to the citizens of Montezuma County?
It's a referendum.
Yeah. So is there going to be some sort of like public service announcements, or kind of what's the byline, like the buy-in to get people, and how can maybe us from board help, or how can this work?
How can we support?
How can we support that?
Somebody else has to actually carry this, because Montezuma County cannot spend taxpayer dollars to promote this.
Yeah, I understand that.
Or do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I can stand up here and I can talk about it.
Yeah.
But I cannot spend one dime to promote this.
Okay.
Okay? It has to.
So could the buy-in
We're
be?
working with a group that's going to pick it up and carry it.
That's
hopefully.
what I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. That they have to do all the work as far as promoting this and trying to carry it and to put on educational meetings and that sort of thing. They're going to have to do. The county cannot do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's against the law.
Right. And so that's going to be pretty well announced around.
Yeah,
the county.
it'll come out. It'll come out. We are just now working on the resolution to put it forward and what that amount will be.
Okay.
And about what that'll bring up. So we're just getting it started.
You're just getting the designer.
We're just getting it. But
keep us informed.
I'll keep you informed as to where it's at. And
and how we can support.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Thanks for the
Take care,
update.
Gerald.
Okay.
Gerald, if the group that's going to spearhead the public outreach virtually, if they want to reach out to me, I'm happy to share that information with trustees or when they're ready.
Okay.
Whatever group is doing this for you, just have them just send me an email or something with who we can contact, and I'll make sure I send it.
Okay. We can do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Daryl.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Student liaison update. Tori.
I haven't really heard of anything going on at the school recently, so I don't have anything.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you. That's always kind of quiet around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
What
you.
did do we?
Yeah.
Snow
that's
day?
true. Yeah.
Did you guys have a snow day?
No. We had Christmas break, but we didn't get any stuff because of snow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough yet.
Right. Okay, Montezuma County Planning Commission,
Greening.
no meeting, okay. Region 9,
Nothing new. They're gonna have their meeting in January, the end of January, like right after our next meeting.
okay. And I see that CDOT TPR, there's no quorum in December, so no report. Okay. All right. So moving on to the discussion and action items. Our first item is Painted Turtle Studio Art Gallery permit. Jamie, would you present?
The owners could not be here since they are actually out of the country. But they are fine, the Painted Turtle would like to start having like a paint and sip with wine, things like that. And so they have applied for an art gallery permit. They're zoned correctly, they fall within all of our guidelines for everything, and the marshal's office does not have any issue.
It does state in here, does the applicant sell alcohol?
Yeah, I noticed that
drink
too.
It says no.
Yeah,
You're saying that they want to do wine.
right. I noticed that too. So I was wondering why they were even applying
And
for
it's-
this. I figured it.
They also,
Art gallery, so.
You can't sell alcohol with an art gallery permit.
but they
You
also
can give
say,
You can give them wine?
Yes, but you
Yeah.
cannot sell.
but they also check no for complimentary beverage as part of it.
Right.
They check no for
Yeah.
Yeah.
applicant charge an entrance fee or cover
What
charge or
page?
require a donation in exchange for complimentary beverages for consumption on the premise. They said no for that
I
as well.
think the purpose on that is bring your own.
What?
Bring your own.
No, what it is we're not gonna charge for alcohol, and we're not gonna charge an entrance fee in lieu of alcohol. Think of it like, we can't sell alcohol in Royal Park, and we're not gonna sell solo cups for $1.
So, okay,
We're not gonna get around the law, because they're not allowed to charge by the drink.
right.
So they are also not going to charge an entrance fee that would then be allocated to the drink instead of charging by the drink. That's how they don't get around, or that's how they're not, the state wants to make sure that there are no shenanigans.
Yeah.
That alcohol is truly complimentary. It's not being sold any way, shape, or form. That's what this means for this specific application.
What, they get 45 fees on that application?
They get however many they,
24,
The state moved it to
24 days per year, right?
so they've got the boxes.
And they only have 15 or
It used to
something.
only be 45 this year.
So how is that regulated? I mean, do they have to check IDs? Do they have to have this license? Like, what's the deal with?
Well, they have to have the art gallery permit, and yes, they are supposed to check IDs. I mean, they still have to follow all of the
All the
regular
rules,
laws.
yeah.
So do they have to come in and take that class with you guys on alcohol? I mean, don't you guys do the training? Will they have to?
They are not required by state law to have to do that. Now, they can, and it is highly encouraged.
That seems like a real gap.
Yeah, it does seem like
Like
a
a huge
Yeah,
gap.
well, and it's so confusing because it's will the applicant serve or distribute alcohol beverages?
So this is a brand new permit that the state came out with this year.
Okay. Because and they said no, but then
Well-
you're saying, yeah, they are, so it's confusing.
If, so the art gallery permit used to be its own separate, but the state actually has combined it now so that you can have a different permit besides art gallery through here. And that's why there's more of these multiple questions too,
Right.
than what you've probably seen in the past
Yeah.
on art gallery permits.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to see what the limitation is on 44-3-24 or 424-1B. You know, the whole line, yeah, because it says, will the applicant abide by serving the size limitations as listed? They put yes, that's the only thing they put yes to.
It's not even answered.
It's also
And
confusing.
what is it? What is
Yeah.
44.3.4.2.4?
That's actually,
State statute.
That's a
That's
state
the state
statute.
law.
but that is actually the only one we want them to say yes to.
Oh.
If they say yes to, yeah, they'll distribute alcoholic beverages between between 2 and 7, we deny the application, they're not.
Well, yeah, because you can't sell alcohol, you can't do that, yeah, I mean, those are,
So that's actually the only one, the only yes answer that doesn't immediately disqualify.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
yeah.
I
It's
mean-
trickery.
And then
It's-
once they have the permit, they fall under every other, the state comes down here to do inspections of our license, then they fall under that same thing, the state.
Yes, because the
Okay.
art gallery does get approved through the state too. It's not like a
Mhm.
special event where it's just locally approved.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
has to go to the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have any objections, it's just, I think the paperwork has tripped me up more than,
They made a lot of changes this year
Okay.
on liquor laws.
okay.
So, I mean, you mentioned the paint and sip. I mean, they checked art gallery versus retail establishment. I mean, the retail, it specifically says primary purpose of selling goods or services to the public. Versus like art gallery, it says primary purpose of exhibiting and offering for sale works of fine art. It sounds like they're, if what you're saying is true, they're actually not an art gallery, they're a retail establishment. It's,
Well, they are.
They are because they produce art.
but if they're having things like paint and sip, that's actually falls into the category of retail establishment versus art gallery.
The state doesn't have anything specific on that. Like this actually does fall under art.
Okay, well, the state has this all
The
wrong.
retail establishment, so for purposes of a liquor license.
Yeah.
The state definitions, the retail establishment is your liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
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 So that's what Jamie was saying.
Yeah.
There used to be a separate art gallery permit application.
Got
So
it.
you never saw all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And now that they've
I
combined
see.
this into
It's
multiple
confusing,
business
yeah.
types
Okay.
or license types,
Okay.
that thing was throwing you off.
Yeah, it is.
For sure. Any other questions, comments,
God, no.
concerns, Tori?
We'll get the state on the line.
Want to chime in? Okay,
Cindy, can I say something?
you bet.
So we really want the gallery to do these.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's far cheaper for them to do this, even though the process is weird.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if liquor enforcement came in, it's gonna absolutely hurt our businesses in town.
Gotcha.
So we really, the marshal's office pushes very hard for them to do these, so that way they don't get hit. His first fine's, 500 to the employee, up to 5,000 for that business.
Mm.
So the ones that are doing it with no permit,
With no permit.
yeah.
And so, and that's the thing, that I'm really glad to see that there's businesses are doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better for them.
No, it's good to know. That's good information.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any other,
Do we have to call a vote for this?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
so, any other comments? All right, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that after the public hearing, we approve the art gallery permit for the Painted Turtle Inc., conditional upon state approval and authorized by the town clerk treasurer to send the application to the state.
I'll second.
All right, all those in, oh no, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll? Wait, time out. It says after public hearing.
Yeah,
I didn't
same.
open
I
mine.
didn't know.
That was my mistake.
Okay,
I guess I should.
Going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they didn't need a
I
public.
didn't,
So-
I was afraid to read.
Normally goes, is there any more comment?
yeah. Okay, so would you amend your motion?
Yes, I
then?
will amend my
Okay.
motion.
And the
I'll amend
second
my
still
Thank
stands?
you, Mayor
Okay.
Pro Tem.
All right.
I will be a little more amended. Okay, so approve the art gallery permit for the Painted Turtle Inc. conditional upon the state approval and authorize the town clerk / treasurer to send the application to the state.
I'm not saying nothing, no. I second.
Okay, thank you. So now we have accurate motion, thank you. We'll just cross that right out of our little packet. And will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Ryan.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tupper.
Aye.
All right, that is passed. Moving on. Family Dollar beer and wine liquor license petition perimeter.
Family Dollar has applied for a beer and wine license. They've submitted completed applications, and now this is just before you to set the parameters, and to circle the petitions and set a public hearing date.
Okay.
Which I am requesting for January 24th.
Now, we've, historically, we have used the town limits, have we not? We've not ever reduced it to a neighborhood. It's always been town limits, so I make a motion that we set it at town bounds.
Yeah, I second that.
We got a motion and a second.
Well, yeah, we were still discussing, but, right?
Wait,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, that's the first and foremost thing you have to do.
Yeah, it says that in the recommendation though, for set the perimeter as a town limits.
So just, that's the motion.
Yeah. So, any other discussion on it? Okay. All right, so may I have a motion?
We do have a motion. I'll just read it as if we want to,
Yeah.
I make a motion that we set the perimeter of the town, make as town limits for petition circulation for the liquor license application to Family Dollar stores of Colorado, and set a public hearing date of January 24th, 2024 for licensing discussions.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Hall.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Chase Brett.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hoover.
Aye.
All right, thank you all. Resolution 4, Series 2024, revised mill levy and 2024 budget amendments.
Yes, so legislation has changed. Historically, the county assessor sends us a preliminary certification values for our assessed property tax value for the town of Memphis. We have our mill levy. We use the calculation, we calculate our property tax revenue. And then in December, historically, they have sent it to us, the final one. And when we adopted the budget and a final one. Legislation made some last minute changes. And so our final certification didn't come in time. So we went ahead and adopted a budget and mill levy based on the preliminary certification values. Because we still have to adopt our budget.
Yeah.
Which includes property tax revenue, by December 31st. Counties now have until the first week in January to send us the final certification values. And technically by law, I have until today to send that to our mill levy certification back to the county. But we don't have a choice since today's our board meeting.
Yeah.
So based on the final certification of values, this is your amended mill levy and amended budget revenue. Our property tax revenue, our preliminary certification of values, show the total valuation for property within the town of Memphis at a little more than $13 million. The final certification of values showed it at $11 million. So our property tax revenue has decreased from the $124,178 that you adopted in December to this amendment, which is $112,302 in revenue from property tax only. So that is why you are seeing this. I do not know if they're going to change municipality so that we're not going to be doing this every single year moving forward, but we may just be doing things differently. So that's why you're seeing this now. The changes to property tax don't hit us very hard because we're small. However, it is hitting counties and larger municipalities incredibly hard. For us, it's a $10,000 a year, or $10,000 a year change.
It's
Well, you know what I mean?
about 13 billion across the state.
I was going to say, but it's hitting counties and larger municipalities incredibly hard.
Yeah.
We are very lucky that for us it's $12,000. So I didn't have a lot of, that's the reason that I didn't have a lot of heartburn in December, because $12,000.
Yeah, we talked about it. We weren't sure. You said that, you know, the budget still looked good and the amount that it might differentiate wasn't going to be
We're
significant
still
enough.
not running in the red.
Yeah, yeah.
What I will say is, I was surprised. I have never seen this big of a difference, a $2 million difference in our property tax valuations between preliminary and final in the entire time. They're usually almost.
Now, this happens statewide. How,
Yeah.
did they set up a different structure on how to evaluate? I mean, is Colorado worth 13 whatever $billion less than what it was the year before?
I do not know.
Yeah, it's
What
weird.
I will say is, I don't know what the
There's-
assessor is doing. They're struggling. Everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
These legislation changes came last minute. Everything was flying around the clerk's list, flying around the finance list, flying around the tax list of the CML listservs. I mean, everybody was just like, what the heck are we supposed? Yeah, everybody was just insane because they came so last minute.
There's been some evidence that the collapse in the commercial real estate market is
To collapse.
hammering property tax values.
And that's why I was so surprised, honestly, to see such a large change for Vegas. We've not ever seen this, that we do, and again, $2 million, other people are like, but for us,
Yeah.
you know. So, but with the $12,000 decrease in revenue, our operating is still balanced, so we're okay.
Okay, so,
You know,
so just for like point of clarification, so the valuation is like basically a $2 million difference or close to it, but the impact to our budget is 12 grand-ish and change. Okay.
Gerald, did you have something?
I was just gonna tell you, we went up to Colorado Counties Association, which is all the counties in the state. We met up in Denver for 3 days. We had the top person in the state of Colorado trying to explain what they had done and could not answer the questions from commissioners in that room. She could not answer the questions. She said, I think this is what they need. Not only one time, but several times on questions she was asked about these evaluations, so.
Yeah, but the
If she
legislation.
can't answer it,
Yeah.
we got some real problems.
Okay, all right, so, anything
that was
else?
So for me, basically, it's, I get these numbers from the county assessor, I don't have any choice. I have a formula, it's math, it is what it is.
It's math.
It's
What
math.
research and.
But you love math.
I love math, and that's why this is for you. What feelings I have on it is completely wrong.
Yeah,
There are
I
no
mean, it
feelings
just,
in
it is what it is, yeah. Yeah, okay, well, I
So this
will,
resolution will amend the budget
Mhm.
and the levy all at once.
Yeah.
And then I'll send it to the county.
so I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 4, Series 2024A, Resolution for Supplemental Budget amending mill levy per final certification of the values received from Montezuma County for the year 2024 and for the town of Vegas, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from trustee Helm and a second by trustee Tokar. Little clerk, please call the roll. I forgot the last part.
Cool, we got it, we're done.
Woo!
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Mooney.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Brown.
Aye.
Trustee, Richard Coker.
I was gonna say, you got me twice? I get 2 votes, cool.
Woo! That's fun. All right, so that passes. Thank you all. 2024 election IGA, intergovernmental agreement.
Is the IGA.
CDOT.
No, see ya.
Oh, yes, I did. I made my check mark in the wrong place. Okay, IGA with CDOT for Grand Avenue Sidewalk Project.
So.
I tried to read that, there's a lot.
David reviewed it. We do have some things that we would love to change, but CDOT was basically,
Take it away.
the one thing that David did catch was there were 2 scopes of work, so now we don't know what scope of work, that kind of thing. But, and the numbers are a little bit confusing because not only in this IGA are we committing to giving them our TAP funds, our TAP grant money,
100%.
because they're gonna manage the project, but we're also gonna give them our cash match.
Right.
So there's a couple of places where it might be different numbers. I tried my best, and David, we tried. This is what we get. So I don't know if David has any serious, don't sign this concerns. I don't know.
The contract could use some improvement, but, like one example is, there's a section 25B, it says financial obligations on the current fiscal year for subject to appropriation, so that's for CDOT, but it's also stated to town, so if you really be, obligated beyond the current fiscal year, so there's lots of, there are other things, but, I mean, if you're not gonna change it, probably, have to change it, it comes down to, apparently we just wanna sign it anyway, before we're going to sign it anyway to get this project done. It seems like a cool project.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't see any commitment to timing or schedules in this.
No, this is basically who's gonna do what.
Yeah.
But because CDOT has kindly offered to just be like, yeah, just give us money and we're gonna do this whole thing for you, we have to do nothing.
Sure.
We're running on their schedule, we're running on their requirements, we're running on their
Yeah.
timeline. I personally don't have a whole lot of heartburn over that.
Yeah.
Because even if we were managing the project, we're still running on their schedule, we're running on their timeline, we're running on their reviews, their review meetings. I mean, that piece of it, not a big deal.
Take some frustration
Same
away from
thing,
you
less
guys.
work.
Well, it's, I know it's not perfect, but I can't say enough about, they don't have to do this. They very graciously said, you know what, we'll do this for you guys. If you want to give us your share, we're out. They're going to attend some meetings, but they're going to deal with the contractors, they're dealing with private way, they're dealing with all of that.
All the testing and everything.
All of the design, they're dealing with it. And we sit in the meetings, but for the most part, one point I think I was like, yeah, we want the ADA like mats to match the ones they just put in the school. And I don't have a lot of heartburn over some of this stuff, and I don't know if Carrie has a whole lot of heartburn, but they didn't have to offer it. They could have forced us to collaborate with our section and their section, and that would have been awful.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It would have been very difficult.
Yeah.
So.
Any other questions or concerns? Sorry? You use sidewalks? You like them? All right.
Good answer.
Good answer. All right. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town manager to execute the IGA with CDOT for Grand Avenue ADA intersection and sidewalk construction project.
Oh, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, authorizing the town administrator to execute the IGA with CDOT for the Grand Avenue ADA intersection and sidewalk construction project. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Penhall.
Sure.
Trustee McFanning.
Aye.
Trustee Cheeseman.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tupper.
Aye.
All right, that passes. All right, so on to the aforementioned 2024 municipal election IGA.
It's election year, yay.
It
And
is.
Kim is awesome and has offered to assist us again for the election. The agreement or the IGA David has reviewed and his notes are redlined in the copy I gave you. Most of it is just, like getting my information correct that's on here.
Yeah.
And then also giving me a little bit more time than 4 hours to proofread.
Yeah.
That's good.
And have you talked with Kim at all to see if that would be okay?
She hasn't responded back.
Okay, all right. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we authorize the town clerk to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder to coordinate the 2024 municipal election with the town of Mancos.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Hallam.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Tierney.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Cross.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all for great discussion and action item completion. Next up is items for January 24, 2024 meeting. And so we have sidewalk and hazard street tree program discussion in our workshop, Family Dollar beer and wine liquor license application, which we just talked about and put on that meeting. Resolution 5, Series 2024, fee in lieu. Is that the school park?
No, that is the cash in lieu of land dedication.
Oh,
Planning commission will review it next week.
Okay.
We have to make a recommendation and you all have to approve it every single year.
okay.
You have to approve this every year?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm recommending that they leave it the same, just so you
Yeah.
know, but they can make whatever recommendation they want, but you have the ultimate authority to adopt it.
Okay, all right. And then the ordinance number to be determined, Empire Electric franchise agreement, and the 2024 dispatch agreement renewal, and 422 Grand Avenue final update, and anything else that we need to talk about putting on the agenda?
At this point.
Everybody's cool?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Staff, did you have anything else you wanted to throw on there? Okay, all right. Looks good. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned. All right.
Now you go home, kid.
I hope the front part's going.